Hello, my name is Craig Jones with Cobb Technologies, and we're going to be going over how to load paper in your copier to try to avoid copier paper jams. First of all, we're going to start with your guides that are in your paper trays. So if you're having jams and you're having jams out of a particular tray, you want to open that tray and just check your paper guides and make sure that it's tight on the paper. A lot of times, if you load the paper completely full and you don't close these guides tight and lock them, when you close the tray, the weight of the paper will push the guides out. So you'll end up with something like this, and the paper will slide to the back. If it goes far enough, the machine's not going to recognize the paper that's in the tray, and you might get a message saying load correct paper size. But if it just goes far just enough where the machine doesn't know that it's a different paper size, it'll pull that paper and the paper will move back and forth, and you can get crooked copies, crooked prints, and paper jams. All right, we're just gonna go over how you should adjust your paper guides and your paper trays. This is gonna be the most common configuration, normal 500 sheet paper tray on most copiers. So you see you have the side guides here that'll adjust the width of the paper that you're going to be feeding, and then this back guide is going to adjust the length. So this tray will automatically tell the machine what size is in it just by how you set these guides. So what I normally will do if people have trouble loading the paper is you can just open the guide just a little bit to give yourself some room. So you can imagine opening your pack of paper, expanding it a little bit. That'll help it separate, help it so the paper doesn't stick together. And then it'll just give you more room to actually load it. So you can bring your side guides in, make sure they don't move. Bring your back guide up, make sure it locks, and then you're ready to shut your tray. Sometimes when you leave it in that position, once again, if you may have larger hands, or you just might be in a rush, when you try to get the paper down in here, sometimes you can end up with a situation like this where it looks like it's loaded, but it's not really. It'll allow you to close the drawer and everything, and then you walk away and you have a paper jam. So you shake it a little bit, jog it, make sure it's all at the bottom, and you should be good to go. For those of you that have large capacity trays, now we're going to look at loading your paper tray in your LCT or large capacity tray. There's many configurations of these trays. Some of these trays are on the side of the machine as a physical attachment. Some of these in the Canon machines will be tray number 1 and tray number 2 instead of being on the bottom. And the Konica machines, some of them have the configuration like this where you have the tires. So granted, if you have this here or not, loading the paper is going to be the same. The issue that people run into is that because these trays are deeper, they'll open their ream of paper, they'll have their 500 sheets, and they'll try to get their hands all the way down in the tray. And what will happen is that the paper will get either stood up on the side or folded. Very common, we'll see paper get folded on itself, and then you'll get a bad spot in the paper. What this will do is it'll allow the machine to run all the paper on top, or normally most of the paper on top, until it gets to that area. Then you get a repeat jam over and over and over again. You'll keep trying to clear it, and then the only way to find out is to pull the whole pack of paper out, stack of paper out, and remove the bad paper. So once again, you might want to break up the pack of paper, maybe split it in half, and then just allow yourself to get the entire cream down in there, fan it a little bit, and then you should be good to go. That'll help alleviate your paper jams. Also, if you have large capacity trays, they're meant for high volume. So if you're not going to be using the paper that's in the tray in the near future, you don't have to fill the tray up, because you can end up with paper that gets old, paper that has moisture in it, and then you can actually end up with just paper that's trash. Unfortunately, you just have to throw that paper away. But if you're going to be using it, feel free, fill it all the way up, and then you should be good.